Have you ever wondered what really stops people from achieving their dreams? It's not a lack of strength. It's not a lack of opportunity. It's a tiny, invisible rope of belief that whispers, "You can't." And the most powerful proof of that comes from a story about an elephant, a rope, and a lesson that could change your life forever. It was a bright morning at a small circus on the edge of a bustling town. The air was filled with the laughter of children, the smell of popcorn, and the sound of drums and whistles echoing across the field. People gathered near colorful tents, excited to watch the performers, the jugglers, the clowns, and the magnificent elephants that were the pride of the circus. But among the crowd stood a young man named Arjun, quietly observing the elephants before the show began. They were giant creatures, strong, majestic, and powerful enough to uproot trees with a single pull. Yet what surprised Arjun was not their strength, but the tiny ropes tied around one of their front legs. The ropes were old and thin, barely strong enough to hold a small dog, let alone these mighty elephants. The elephants stood calmly, swaying gently, making no attempt to break free. Arjun couldn't believe it. He walked closer and asked the caretaker nearby, "Excuse me, these elephants are so huge. Why don't they try to break the rope and escape?" The caretaker smiled and replied, "They could easily, but they don't believe they can." Arjun frowned. "What do you mean?" The caretaker looked at one of the elephants lovingly and said, "When they were very young, we tied them with the same type of rope. At that time, they were too small to break it. They struggled for days, but the rope was stronger than them back then. Slowly, they accepted the truth that they could not break free." He paused for a moment and continued, "Now that they've grown up, their belief hasn't changed. They still think the rope will hold them. They don't even try anymore." Arjun stood there speechless. He stared at the giant animal in front of him, capable of destroying the whole tent if it wished, standing quietly, its leg bound by nothing more than a thread. He thought to himself, how many of us are living just like these elephants? As Arjun left the circus, those words echoed in his mind. They don't believe they can. He realized that most people, too, are tied by invisible ropes, not ropes made of fiber, but ropes made of fear, doubt, and past failures. We grow up hearing limits. "You can't do this. You're not smart enough. You're not from the right background. You'll fail if you try," and slowly we start believing them. Arjun remembered his own life. He had always dreamed of starting a business, a small cafe with books, music, and warmth. But every time he thought about it, the same voice in his head whispered, "You failed once. You'll fail again." Just like the elephant, he had stopped trying. Years ago, Arjun had invested all his savings in a small food stall. He was young and excited, but he made mistakes: poor location, no marketing, no experience. Within 6 months, the business collapsed. People mocked him. Some said, "See? You're not made for business." Those words hurt more than the loss itself. Since then, Arjun worked in a job he didn't love, watching his dream fade a little every day. That day at the circus, something changed. He saw the elephant again, and his mind standing still, believing it couldn't move. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm like that elephant. Maybe the only thing holding me back is me." The next morning, Arjun woke up early. He sat at his desk and began to write ideas, plans, and dreams that he had buried for years. He didn't have much money, but he had experience now. He started learning business management, marketing, and finance through free online resources. Every night after work, he spent hours building his plan. And every time fear whispered, "You can't do it," he smiled and said, "That's just the rope talking." Months later, he opened his cafe, the Freedom Bean. It was small, but cozy and full of life. He decorated one corner with a painting of an elephant breaking a rope, and below it a line that read, "Don't let old ropes decide your strength." In the beginning, not everyone supported him. Friends said, "It's too risky," relatives said, "You're wasting your time." But Arjun remembered the caretaker's words, "They don't even try anymore." He had promised himself he would not be that elephant. The first few months were hard. Some days only 2 or 3 customers came. But instead of giving up, he improved: better coffee, better service, better music. He started sharing his journey on social media, the story of the elephant rope. People connected with it deeply. They saw themselves in it, trapped by their own doubts. Soon, People started visiting his cafe not just for coffee, but for motivation. Students, artists, writers, and dreamers gathered there. It became a place where people came to remind themselves that they too could break their ropes. 3 years later, the Freedom Bean became one of the most loved cafes in town. Arjun opened 2 more branches. But what made him happiest wasn't tea the profit, it was the wall in his cafe filled with small notes from visitors. Each note started with the words, "I broke my rope today." Some wrote they quit a job they hated to follow their passion. Some started new studies after years of self-doubt. Some forgave themselves for past mistakes and decided to start again. Arjun would look at that wall every morning and feel tears of joy. He had broken his rope and in doing so, helped hundreds of others break theirs. We all have invisible ropes tied to our minds. Maybe it's a past failure, a painful memory, or someone's harsh words. We let those experiences define us. We stop trying because we once got hurt or because someone made us believe we couldn't. But strength isn't about never falling. It's about realizing that what once held you back no longer can. The elephant could walk free any time, so can we. So, whenever you feel stuck, whenever you think, "I can't do it," remember the elephant. The rope around your leg isn't real anymore. It's just a memory. And the moment you take one step forward, you'll realize you were free all along. Our limitations are often just beliefs we've carried for too long. Break the rope of doubt, and you'll discover your true power. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that inspire. We'll see you in the next one.